Hey everybody, and welcome to Live Coding with Jesse. Still trying to get everything set up. Just give me a second. The stream quality wasn't great, so I've been trying to close out everything I can. Okay, I think we have it now. All right, so welcome everyone. I imagine we probably will have some new viewers on the stream because this is very beginner friendly. It's going to be pretty much basic HTML. So if you're new, this is how things go on the stream. We break up the stream into periods where we code, and then periods where where I answer questions in the live chat. So after I explain what we're going to do, I'll start my first coding session, and that'll be a 25-minute Pomodoro session. What I'm going to do today is pretty basic, so it may only take one Pomodoro session, but if we don't get it done in the first session, we'll do a second one after a 5-minute break to go through the live chat. If you have any questions at any point, please put it in the live chat. I may not see it at first, but I'll definitely get to it before I end the stream. The streams usually last about an hour, hour and a half. Occasionally, we've gone longer than that, but I think today it should be an hour or less. So I apologize for those of you that get motion sick easily. I'm on a laptop right now that's sitting in my lap, and I'm using the webcam from there. So the image of my face may be a bit shaky. I'm going to keep that small the whole time. I'm not going to make it full screen because I know I get motion sick easily. I don't want to do that to you all. I have a legit webcam that I ordered, and it should be in tomorrow. So hopefully for Friday's stream, when I stream from home, I'll have that webcam. And I also have a tripod for it, so it should be better picture quality and nice and steady. So I see a lot of you saying hi, and so hey everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and start the stream. It looks like we have a bunch of people in here, and the stream quality is good. So I'm going to start this Pomodoro session, and we're going to get right into coding. I put a link to this repository in the description to the video. So if you go to that link, this is where it'll take you. This is a static HTML site for the Clinical Mental Health Counseling Program. The university that I work for offers a program for counseling, and so we gave them a separate site as part of a marketing campaign. We're going to run another marketing campaign for them, so I received some edits, and I actually have the edits on a sheet of paper with post-it notes because my coworker asked me a while back on Slack, how do you want me to send the changes? And I, being a smart aleck, said, on paper with a number 2 pencil, please. Of course, I was joking, but when I came into my office the next time, this had been slid under my door, which has a note on it that says, "Be careful what you ask for." So I'm going to be explaining what's on this piece of paper to you all as we go through. So let's check out the site so I can explain what we're going to change. Whoops. Alright, I didn't really want it to go in a separate window, but that'll work. Since you all probably have never seen the site before, I want you to be familiar with it. So basically, some of these design elements should be familiar to you, but this is kind of the first site where we went with this header style of being kind of the light header. So it has some of the new design elements and some elements that we don't really use anymore. But the first thing that definitely needs to change is we need to use our newer logo. And if you've seen past streams, you've seen the newer logo. So we're going to be changing out a logo. And we may have to adjust the CSS there. So there'll be some basic CSS. We also are going to need to change this text. and we are going to need to change. We're going to need to remove some elements. So we have some elements here, and it also switches, and there are certain things on the page that are only visible either on mobile or on desktop. So we'll have to make the changes in both versions. So we'll get to see, how we did that. And let's see. I think those are all the changes. So you see, there's not really a lot that needs to change, but like I said, this will be a good stream for beginners. I am going to explain, the structure of what I'm doing and why we're doing things as I go on, and there'll be a lot of time for questions. Okay, and if you want, I'm going to copy and paste the link to this site so you all can check it out on your own computers. And then, like I said, the link, I'm going to link this GitHub repo in the live chat. If you're watching this and somehow don't have access to the live chat, the link's also in the description to this video. So I don't even have this installed on my laptop yet. So I'm going to be super basic, and first thing we're going to do is clone this repository. So you may or may not be familiar with GitHub. So I've gone to this repository, I clicked this green clone or download button. Don't worry about the dark background on this. I have some custom themes going on GitHub, so this is the regular version of GitHub that you all can see as well. So I've copied this, and now we're going to go to my terminal, and let me make it a bit bigger for you all. Make sure you can see it. So I'm going to explain what I'm doing in the terminal, just in case there are some of you out there that aren't really familiar with the terminal. I am on a Mac, so these are going to be Mac commands. They'll also work on Linux. The commands may be a bit different on a PC or on a Windows-based machine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change directory with CD, and I'm going to go into my projects folder. And in my projects folder, here are all my projects that I've been working on. I like to keep them all in one folder like this. And now I need to do a git clone, and I'm going to paste in that link that I just copied from GitHub. And when I do this, it's going to make a new folder, right, that's called CMHC site. That's Clinical Mental Health Counseling Site. Right, so it just makes a folder that has the same name as your Git repo. So now that that folder is made, let's go into that folder. Now we're in there, and let's just check out the files. We'll do an ls to check out all the files. So we can see we have, some basic files. And what we need to do, so we have this package.json file. We can see we have a yarn lock file. So this project was made with yarn instead of regular npm. So let's go ahead and do a yarn. We're just going to type in the command yarn. That's going to install all the packages for this package.json file. Okay, so we're not going to go into that now because I want to stick to basic HTML. So if you want to know more about your package.json file and what's going on here, just put a question into the chat or in the comments, and then I can answer that in more depth later on in the stream. So let's see. While this is running, let's get this open. So I'm going to duplicate the tab, and I'm going to open this up in Visual Studio Code. So I'm just going to type in code, and then a period, and that should open everything up in Visual Studio Code for us, which it may take a while. This particular laptop is a bit slow. There we are. Another instance of code is running but not responding. Okay. I guess we'll close this out. Let's check this out. Alright, this is my other instance of code that's running. I'd rather not shut this down because I'm working on that. But let's see. Okay, it looks like it's working. It was just taking a while. Apologies for the slowness of the machine. When I'm trying to run my streaming software, and do this at the same time, it does slow down the machine a bit. When I stream at my office, I have a more powerful machine, and it doesn't slow it down. We're not going to upgrade right now. We're going to do that later. And let's see, what is going on here? Nope, that is not the project that I wanted. Did I duplicate the wrong tab? Looks like I accidentally duplicated the wrong tab. So I guess let's just check out. Let's duplicate the right tab now. Close that down. There we are. And we'll just do the same command, which we need to wait a minute anyway because all our packages are installing. So I wanted to do this on the stream with everybody watching, so you get an idea of how this works. So I didn't anticipate it taking quite so long, but it does give us. It gives me time to check out some of the questions in the live stream while we're waiting. So I'm gonna go into stream and just kind of check out what's going on. I'm gonna start at the top here, and I'm gonna keep an eye on this other monitor here, so that when it's ready, we can get right into it. Hey, Harshit's in here. He says perfect time. So Harshit, the time zone that Harshit's in is a little bit difficult to catch a stream in. So um, I'm really glad that you could watch today, Harshit. Darshana Prasad. So I don't know how to pronounce your entire name, but hopefully that's. Let me know if I pronounce that part right. It says, "Hi, it's my first time with Jesse." Hey, welcome. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this stream has some good stuff for you today. Hamemi's here, says hello. Wow, there's a lot of hellos. I'm not going to read through everybody's name that said hello. I'm just a lot of hellos. Thank you all so much. Okay. So now we have some code up here that we can check out. So we're going to go into, where's our index page? This is a one-page HTML site. So we're going to go into our index page, and I'm going to make the code as big as I can so that you all can see. And I'm going to scroll down a bit. Let's move this over here so we give us some more space. I'm going to scroll down. As I scroll, I'm not going to go through everything on the site, but I'm just going to explain a little bit. So you can see this looks like a regular HTML page, right? We have our HTML tag, our head tag, right? We're importing some things up here. Importing a JavaScript and CSS library called Materialize to help us. This is an older version of Materialize. So if some of the things in here look different to you because you're used to a newer version, definitely go with whatever the newer stuff is. Don't take this as the way to do things, because I'm sure some of the ways that we're doing things may not even be supported in the newer versions. This site was developed over a year ago. Let's see. So we have our navigation, and let's see where our logo is. Here we go. So the first thing that we're going to edit is our logo. And let's check on this. Still going, still going. All right, so let me bring over our logo, and we can at least put our logo in there. And the easiest thing, I think, would be to name our logos the same name. SideNav logo, SideNav logo. Okay. So let me grab my logo. So I'm going to open up a Finder window just on my other screen because I have some Finder windows open already. So let's see. I think I downloaded a logo, this logo that I need to use not too long ago. Let's see. And I think I have an SVG version of it. which I'm hoping it's an SVG version. I prefer those, and it would be cool to just show you all how we use SVGs in case you haven't seen that before. Let's see. I have a bunch of SVGs just named logo, so I'm looking through the previews just to make sure that I have the right SVG. Okay, here we are. I found it. So let's copy that, and let's see if I can paste it directly into here, into the images folder. It's not going to let me do that. Let's see if I can. Alright, it doesn't let me copy and paste, so I guess I'm going to need to drag and drop this within Finder. So I'm doing this on my other screen because this is just basic, like, I searched for a file and now I'm going to drag and drop it somewhere. Alright, let's make sure. CMHC site, image, there we go. Okay, so now we have our logo here, and what we can do is just delete this logo. No, you know what? They have different file endings anyway, so can't do it like that. Let's just change every instance here of this side logo. So what we'll do is do a Control F, right, to find it, and then we will. Let's see, how do we open this up? There we are. And then we're going to replace it with this fus logo.svg. And you see we have replace or replace all. We're going to do replace all. All right, and now we need to see what this looks like. So hopefully, oh goodness, it's still going. Building fresh packages. All right, we'll go. We'll go ahead and replace some more stuff. Where's this vertical logo? I'm not sure where we're using this. Let's check it out. I guess in the footer, maybe? Oh, here we are. Okay, we are using that in the footer. I think we can keep this. I don't think that's an issue. It wasn't something that was marked to be changed. So we're going to keep that in the footer. But just notice how crisp this is because it's an SVG. Even zoomed in, there's, it looks fine. It doesn't look pixelated at all. Now let's compare that to this up here. If we zoom in, it's actually not too bad. It must be a decent sized image, but I don't know if you could see it on your screen, but I noticed some fuzziness around the edges here. So that's why I really like SVGs, is that no matter how much you blow them up or zoom in, they work. They still look fine. Okay. Looks like there's a lot going on in the live chat here. I will get to that soon. Let me check my timer. All right, about 10 minutes. So it looks like this logo is the only logo that we had that we need to deal with. I know I named it Side Nav logo, but really, I don't have another logo in here. So this is what we were working with, and I'm going to delete this since we don't need it anymore. All right. So that should be okay for getting the logo in. As soon as my yarn command gets through everything that it needs to, we can run this locally and see the changes. If for some reason it doesn't work, I can just open this in Chrome without having like the auto refresh and stuff happening. So that should work. The one thing that we're gonna have to make sure that may not work is the style. So the image we had in there before was a certain size. This is an SVG. Uh, the size could throw things off, but hopefully it won't. Now we need to find. Michael says there's hardly anything in your package file. Not sure what's taking so long. Waiting, building fresh packages. Waiting. I guess we could. I mean, it could just be that I'm trying to run OBS at the same time. Let's you know what? I'm just gonna stop this process and let's try it again. Just we'll try it out. Maybe it got hung up on something. So we'll let it do its thing. We still have some other things that we need to change in here. So I'd like to show you what we've done with these sections. Actually, let's change this. So if you notice, let me switch this around so it's easier to get to. All right, so notice we have this background image, and it's just kind of scrolling like almost like a parallax style for this big hero section. And then we just have some text here, kind of station. Well, it's actually stationary, but it looks like it's moving up over top of the image, right? So that's kind of like that parallax effect. So we're just going to change these, and you can see how we've done this. We have this whole section with the ID of home is a wrapper for everything. We set a background on this section, and that's where that image is. And if you really want to see the CSS of how we did that, let me know in the live chat, and I'll make sure I show you that CSS before I end the stream. But basically, that is a background image, and then within that, we just have some divs that are there for alignment, and then we have an H1 and an H4, right? And we've just centered them, done a bit of styling, and then we have a button, right? That's just an A tag that's styled in a particular way. All right, so not too difficult. So we do need to change some of this text. The only thing, it looks like the changes won't mess anything up. If the text were to be too large, that could be a problem. But I think we'll end up with less text overall, which I always think is good for that hero section. Professionally grounded, faith inspired. So that'll be our change for that. And then for here, we're going to say all right, Master of Arts in Clinical Mental Health Counseling. Okay, and I'll save that. Let's check on this. Wow. It's still doing its thing. Okay. Not really a problem. We're about to take a break and go to the live chat anyway, so it'll have, a little while to work. I do want to scroll down. So, you all, if you want to take a closer look at any of this, let me know. And, of course, you're welcome to check it out in the GitHub repo as well. This section is where we're going to look at now. It's the White Franciscan section. Okay, so there's actually, let's see, let's scroll down here. So there's actually two sections here. One is hidden right now, and those are these large cards, but the second one is only really visible. Actually, let me inspect this. I think this will be easier overall to change the screen size. All right, so I've right-clicked and clicked on Inspect, and that's opened up Chrome DevTools. And if you're not familiar with DevTools, it is a really, really awesome tool for web developers. And you could see the whole DOM tree, all the HTML elements, right? And you could see all the CSS that's attached to them. But I really want to use it right now just to be able to make this window smaller. There we are. So you could see at a certain screen width, it changes because I don't want users to have to scroll for a really long time on mobile. So we've changed it and made these smaller cards, and you could see they just have this little effect where they open and close. It's just a little pop out. Okay, so that's what we need to change right now. Oops. And we have about a minute. So let's let me just show you. So this is the section where it's at. So what we're using, we have the markup repeated in two different sections. So the first one, let's see if I can, this will make it easier to see. So basically you have two different sections, and the one says hide on large only. All right, so that's those large cards that are fully expanded. And then the second one, and this is for, oh, I'm sorry. The first div is actually the mobile section, but we're hiding it on large screens. So reverse what I just said. The second section is the one that only shows on large screens. So this is the large cards, and this is the smaller kind of accordion style. So we'll need to make changes in both of them. And that's what we'll do in the next Pomodoro session. But right now, my timer is about to go off. Oh, it just went off. Great. I'm going to take a short break, and hopefully this will work while I'm taking this break. I'm going to scroll up to where I left off in the live chat and answer as many questions as I can in this 5-minute period. Let's see. All right. Himanshu asked what type of HTML update it was about. So, I mean, I've already answered that, hopefully. Let's see. The question says, can you speak Hindi? No, unfortunately, I don't speak Hindi. If your English is not very good and you'd like to ask me a question in Hindi, go ahead and type it in to the live chat, and I'll use Google Translate to try to translate that. And hopefully, I'll have to answer in English, but that may be a little bit easier for you. We do have some other people in the chat that can speak Hindi, so they may be able to help translate as well. John Hansen says, I'll be curious if Visual Studio Code will do any lint checks for the HTML. Yeah, I'm a little interested to see if any auto formatting and things happen with Visual Studio Code. Since I built this in Atom, we'll see. I mean, it shouldn't really have an impact on the site, but it may switch up the way everything looks in the code. Ayush Deep asks, what is Yarn? So Yarn is a JavaScript package manager. So if you're familiar with Node Package Manager, Yarn does the same thing. When it first came out, it was faster and it included a lock file, which NPM didn't have. But now NPM, the latest version, also has a lock file, and it's also pretty fast. So at this point, me using Yarn is just out of habit, and I know the commands and I like them. But NPM does the same thing, so you can go with either one. It just installs lots of JavaScript code for you automatically, so that you can use it in your projects. Let's see. All right, Greg has a question about that Pomodoro timer and how long do I set it for. When I use Pomodoro timer, I take 25-minute coding sessions and then 5-minute breaks. And after I do 4 of those sessions, I take a 10-minute break. I have seen other people do different amounts of times, but this is how I learned how to do it with these times, and so I've stuck with it. During that short break, usually it's not like a complete break. That's when like I'll check my emails, or if I've have other things I need to work on, I'll go back to that. Occasionally, if I don't have any emails, I'll just relax for a few minutes, try to clear my thoughts, and before I get back into the code. But the idea is during that break, you don't want to really think about the code directly, right? You want to give your mind a break, just kind of to sort through things. All right, Greg says, I'd like to see the CSS. Okay, good. So after this next session, I will go through some of the CSS of how I'm doing some of these things. Okay, Phoenix does say it's mostly just background attachment fixed property in CSS. Yeah, that is how we do it. So I will go through and show the CSS on the screen, but that is basically how we do it with the background attachment fixed. I have heard that can be a little bit resource intensive, so just be careful with it. I would never use background attachment fixed on lots of images on the same page. Almost exclusive, you just use it in one place per page, and otherwise you may have some jankiness with the scroll. Okay, didn't quite get through all the questions, so let me mark down somewhere where I left off at. Let's just do it here. I'm going to open up a new terminal and let's see where we at. 12, 29. Okay, so my time, 12:29 p.m. is the timestamp on the question where I'm going to pick up at next time. Wow. Node says CVSH. That's wild. I'm not sure why that's taking so long. Oh well. Like I said, we can work around it if we need to. Oop, let me start the timer. All right, so we left off kind of just showing where we need to make the changes on the actual site, and then we also found it in the code. So let's go in here. We're actually just going to remove these sections. So let's go to this first one first, and we'll scroll down to the section that has the header affordable. Okay, so you can see we're using materialize. So this whole thing is just an unordered list. So within each li we have 2 divs. The first div is the header. Okay, so we've marked that as collapsible header with a class, and then we have the body, which is collapsible body. Within the body, we did put some p tags in, but we could put whatever we wanted in that body. But what we need to do here is just remove this li completely. Okay, so we no longer want to advertise this program as affordable. So I don't know. I don't make the marketing decisions, so I don't know whether that's a good idea or not a good idea. But that's the instructions that I have. Um, let's see. Where's that at? Why Franciscan? Oops! I accidentally minimized the entire section instead of just this part. There we are. So let's minimize that. And now let's open up this section and find that same thing. So we need to look for affordable. There we are. So we're going to remove, in this case, you could see we have everything split up. Each section is split up into columns. So the first div gives us column classes. We split up the entire site into 12 columns. And we say, based on the screen size, how many columns we want it to take up. Now in this case, we've actually set it to always be full width when we've done these two sets of columns here. Really, we don't need that second piece. Probably at some point, I had different values here. And then I left it in. Well, I'm going to leave it in there now. Don't really want to go through refactoring on this stream. Then within that column, we have another div with a class of card. So just to kind of show you what's going on here. So you can see this is the card, this box here on the page. And each card has some certain styling, like 2 pixel border radius. We have a specific box shadow for a card. Okay, so and a different color. So you see the background is pure white on the cards, and it's off-white or slightly gray in the normal background. So that's what our card div does. And then inside the card, we have certain sections. So we have a div for the card content. And in this case, everything in this particular card is going inside that. This helps because it adds some basic padding and things. We don't want our text right up against the edge. That doesn't look nice. And then finally, we have within there, we have our card title. And we've made these spans to give it a particular look. Card title text theology. That's interesting. I wonder why I left this in here. Looks like I copied and pasted this from a previous website and never got rid of that class. So it's kind of fun to look back in to see what was I doing. And then within this card content, we've also put a paragraph tag, a p tag, and with our text in here, and we've given it a class of flow text. In Materialize CSS, it comes with a class called flow text, which actually changes the font size of the text based on the screen width, which I think is really cool. But in this case, we need to remove this section. All the other sections are laid out the same way. All the other, for the different cards. We're going to save that. And it looks like we need to make one more change. And this is just a text change. Let's check on what's going on here. Wow, still nothing. I'm really wishing that I would have installed all those packages first now. So I didn't think it would take that long. I just wanted to show you all the process. So it looks like we may not get to see all the packages installed after all. We need to go down to where we find the affordable card. Oops, I'm sorry. The supportive card, which should have been right under the affordable one. So supportive. And we're just going to add in a bit of text. So right after this help, we're going to put our students and faculty and students and cohort style learning. Okay, so close interactions between faculty and students and cohort style learning help you feel supported throughout your academic career. Okay, looks good. I'm just going to copy and paste this as well because we're going to use the same text up here in this other section as well. And where are we at? Whoops. I did it again. I closed the wrong thing. We're going to close this, open this. This is our mobile accordion style text. So in here, this is where I'm going to paste in the new stuff. There we are. Okay. So now we have our text here, and it looks like those are all the changes that we need. So now let's make sure that it all looks all right. Let's see what our CSS. So since we never changed the styles, this will work for us to be able to see what's on the page without having our server running. So we would have had a gulp server running, and that would compile our SCSS or SAS for us. But we made no changes, so we should be good. Luckily, we didn't have to make any changes. So I'm just going to open up. Did it work? Oh, it worked. Yes. Cool. Okay. So let's do, I believe it's gulp watch. It'll let me know if that's not the right command. I'm not going to go over this unless you all want me to, because this is definitely not basic HTML stuff here. Let's see, let's open this up here so we can see our changes. But basically what Gulp Watch is doing for us is it's going to watch all our files, and it's serving up our website locally so that every time we make a change, it automatically is reflected here. Otherwise, we would have to do a manual refresh, which is not a big deal, but it takes an extra second or so. If you're working on a site day in and day out, all those seconds, it starts to get pretty annoying to have to do that. So much better when you do this. It also lets you do cool things like you do your CSS in SAS syntax, SCSS syntax, and it automatically compiles it for you, which is very cool. So let's just check out, did our, right, we don't have affordable in here anymore. It's gone. We have our cohort style learning text in there. We have our new text here. It looks good. And we have our new logo. But we can see there's some issues with our new logo. We don't have the proper padding, so let's compare. Right, this logo worked probably because this is a ping file, and it came built in with some padding, so we didn't have to add it ourselves. Did we have? Yeah. So what we need to do here, since our SVG didn't really come in with enough. It doesn't have enough padding built in. We need to add it. So let's check out in DevTools. So we're going to inspect it. Whenever we need to make CSS changes, I really like to make the changes in DevTools first, just so that I can see it, immediately. And then I transfer, once I'm happy with how it looks, then I transfer the code over to our actual files. You can even set up DevTools so that it will actually edit your files from DevTools. It'll edit them. I haven't had it set up yet. Maybe one day I'll do it like that, because that does seem like a cool feature that would be, it would save some time. All right, so here's our logo. Here's our image. And then it's wrapped in an A tag. That's interesting. Let's see. Huh. Okay, so our image actually is overhanging a bit, and it's not really the end of the world that it's doing this. I don't like it. Let's see. Yeah, that's odd. Wonder why our image. Did we set a height? Position. Let's see if there's a height set on there. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. This is this font's way too small. Let me make it bigger. Okay, that's a bit bigger. And I know my face is probably covering up a bit of this, so I'll try to make sure that I scroll properly so that you all can see. It may still be a bit too small. I'm afraid to make it much bigger, though, because we won't be able to see enough for it to even make sense. Whoops. Sorry about that. Yeah, you know what? I'm not exactly sure why we're getting such a weird height on this. Interesting. Okay, well, we can at least switch it up and say, I really do want the margin. Let's change up our margins here. So I don't want margin top at all. I want to set a margin all the way around. So let's do just regular margin. And we're going to set our top value to 8 pixels. And this is just going to be to start. We're going to set our next value, which will be our right margin, to 0. We don't really need a margin there. Our bottom margin, let's set to 8 pixels. And then our left margin, we're going to set to 8 pixels. Okay, now already we can see an issue here, in that this header does not resize compared to this. So we're probably going to have to manually change the height of this nav. Okay, and actually, I don't really like that idea. I don't think this nav needs to be bigger than that. I like it to be a little bit more slim. So we can decrease the size of this logo, and then that way we can keep the header the same size. So we're going to give this logo a height of 60 pixels. Now it makes it a lot smaller, but we can go with a smaller logo here because we have this big FUS at the top. And actually, Franciscan University of Steubenville, yep. So you can see here the words are just not that easy to read. So we couldn't go any smaller. Now, you know what? I just thought of this. I wonder if I'm going to go with this logo right now, but I wonder if the logo that actually says the word Franciscan would be better here. At least on the desktop, we certainly have the space for it. So maybe that might be the way to go. Yeah. Let me see what you all think. Let me know what you all think about that. Should we go with the one that says Franciscan, at least on desktop? Yeah, we'll have to see about that. For now, I think this works. And let's change this now in our actual Sass file. So we have our styles.scss file. If you're familiar with normal CSS and you've never seen this, it might look a bit weird at first. First of all, you notice we have variables for all our colors. Okay, so when I go to say a color down below, I don't need to put the hex value, I just put the variable. This is really nice because later on, if I wanted to change the theme, I could just change all these colors up here, and then it would automatically change them throughout all the rest of the CSS. It's really, really kind of cool. Let's see. We need to go to our logo, right? No, that's our side nav logo. So we haven't styled that yet. Let's check our nav, brand logo, image. Yep, this is it. This is what we need. So if you remember, we lowered the size to 60, and then we changed, instead of margin top, we're going to do regular margin, and we did 8 pixels and 0, 8 pixels, and what was that last one? 8 pixels, right? Yeah, it was 8 all the way around. Not that this really mattered, entirely, but That's what we have here. So when we save it, you'll see it'll change in the CSS folder. So right now this is white, meaning it hasn't changed, but it should change colors once we change this. So I'm going to save it. There we are. So you can see we had a color change, all right, to indicate that these files were modified. All right, so we can see our CSS. So that automatically changes this Sass syntax into CSS, which is important because browsers can interpret CSS, but not Sass. So not this SCSS. So it's nice to be able to develop with this because we have features like those variables that I showed you. But unfortunately, browsers can't handle that. With the latest versions of CSS, though, you can do things like variables. So there's less need for SCSS, but it's still, if you're already used to using it, it's still valuable. If you haven't used it yet, I would probably just learn the newer versions of CSS and not worry about learning SCSS. Now, that's just my opinion. I may be missing some, reasons why you would want to learn it, but from my experience, I'd say, just don't worry about it unless you have to. Um, if you're working on an old project that uses it, obviously you need to learn it, but otherwise you really shouldn't need it. So we can see, we'll do a refresh just to make sure that anything we put in there is taken out of the DevTools to ensure our styles are still there. So there's our styles. It works. It looks okay. Let's go down a bit so we can make this sidebar happen. There we are. And now we can check. So here our logo still works, which is great. And then here, actually our logo, it still works here. So it's interesting. Let's inspect this. Okay. Alright, so a few things that I don't like about this. This A tag is not... Okay, I guess it works. I was worried that you couldn't click. Okay, so that works. I think the image could actually be bigger and it would be okay. So, image. Actually, that's interesting. All right, let me show you what I mean by that. So, our side nav logo should have a height of 80 pixels, but it seems that I've messed up at some point. So I should not have given this the class brand logo. I should take that class out. So let's see what happens when we remove that class. Oh, okay. So, wow. All right, let's check out where we're using brand logo. Oh, you know what? I know why. Brand logo probably comes... It's probably one of the classes that comes built in. So I still want to take it out, and let's add in some styles of our own. Right? 'Cause I wasn't 100% happy with that, the way that was styled, and I want to keep the styles for these two logos separate. So instead, let's style it here just in DevTools. And let's see. So that class was actually on this A tag. But what I'm going to do is put some styles directly on this image. So let's go with heights. Let me see. Side nav logo. Okay, so the LI is logo. So the LI itself has a height of 80. Okay. All right, that makes more sense now. Okay. So on the image itself, let's go with a width of 100%. There we go. That makes it a bit smaller. We definitely want a margin on the top and bottom. So let's go margin 8 pixels, and then 0 for the sides. And it's too tall. So let's do height 70 pixels. Let's see what that gets us down to. Yeah, that's still too small. I want this to be a bit bigger. See, what I'd like is this to line up with this side. And that looks about right. So let's take it to 94 pixels. And then what we'll need to do with this LI is make the height 94 pixels so that they match. And then we'll make sure, nah, you know, it needs to be larger than that. Let's take it up to 110. There we are. Great. And we still need, we don't want this to change color when we hover over it, so we have to make sure that we do that as well. Okay, so let's make the changes before we forget what they are. So our side nav logo, this is going to be, what did we go up to, 110? 110 pixels, and within logo, we want to do this A tag, and on the A tag we want to make this have A and hover like that. And then also, so within Sass you do nesting, so it saves us some typing here, and then it gets interpreted in the CSS like you know, side nav dot logo, you know, and then there'd be another one, side nav dot logo colon, you know, hover, right? So it would make it normal CSS, but we can take advantage of, you know, kind of this this nesting that looks nice. All right, and then one more, we need, oops, within the A tag we have our image tag. So let's do the image, and within our image, let's just copy what we've done here. Save us the typing, and there we are. Let's save that. Guess I should change my indentation. So we're going to save that and see what it looks like here after we give it a refresh. Sometimes it's good to refresh the page because what you've done in DevTools will stay there. So you'll think that what you've done worked, but really it's just what you did in DevTools beforehand. So you want to clear that all out first. So if you've only changed one thing, you could probably do it manually. Whoa, see, after I refreshed it, we can see there's some crazy stuff going on here. And it looks like I forgot to save, in index, I forgot to remove that brand logo class. I did it in DevTools, but not in my actual HTML. So that's what we're going to do right now. There we are. which, to be honest with you, we don't really need these logos to be links because it's a one-page site. So, like, why you don't need to navigate anywhere, so we don't need links like that. But anyway, all right, cool. So this looks all right. We hover over this, we don't get a weird color change, and this is not overlapping. Uh, Wonderful. Okay. As I'm looking at this site, I see so many other things that I would want to change, but I can't. I can't take the time right now. This is not my main project, so I'm going to stick with what I was given. So for now, looks like this works. Yeah, everything looks fine. Everything works. Oh, my timer ran out. So let me go to the live chat here, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do another 5-minute break, and then I'm going to show you how we push these changes to GitHub and how I update the site. And that'll be the last thing that we do for this stream. So let me see. Okay. I'm trying to just pick up right where I left off with the questions in the live chat. Okay, Greg asks, is there any way to get the background to scroll to just at a slower rate? Yeah, definitely. You can do that. So what you would do in that case is most likely you'd want to use some JavaScript to change the position on the page of that image on scroll. So you're going to need an event listener for the scroll, and then tied to that, it's going to directly change the I guess since it's a background image, it would be the background position of that image. So it can be done. I think so. The guy Travis, who used to do the Dev Tip show, I think he did a show on Parallax Images where he shows where you can do that. So if you check out his channel and try to maybe search in his videos for the term parallax, check out his videos on that, and he does a lot with that if you're interested. Go Cool says, I'm a civil engineering student from India. My passion was to learn computer science, so I'm going to drop out of my college and learn computer science by watching these tutorials. Wow, that's a big decision. I just say if that's what you really want to do, go for it, but definitely think about it. I'm not sure how far you are in your engineering program, but if you're close to being done with it, you might want to think about sticking with it. Or if you have some sort of scholarship where you can go to school without paying that much money, you may want to think about it as well. Otherwise, I'd say, go for it. Good luck. And, definitely we'll try to help you here in this stream as much as we can. And there are a lot of good free resources out there to help you learn. Michael noticed the unnecessary A tag as well. You probably noticed that way before I did. Most likely what I had done is copied this over from somewhere else. Either one of my previous projects or maybe the default template for Materialize, and just never changed it. Yeah, the hashtag as the href is it just takes you to you just stay on the same page, right? If you don't know what you want to link to, you can just put that in there and you'll stay on the same page. It's more like a placeholder, so it's there, but it doesn't really do anything in this case. Oh, Harshit asks, where's Pom Pom, the dark theme timer? You know what? Since I'm on my laptop, this was already open. I don't think I ever use Pom Pom on my laptop because normally I stream from work. So I'll have to switch to that because I do love that dark theme. Let's see. Oh, okay. And Lee also asked to show some of the CSS, so I will definitely do that. Lucas says, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for watching. Gokul asks, says, are you in college? No, I'm not in college. I work for a college. Okay, I am skipping a lot of the conversation that's in between people. So if you watch the replay, you should be able to see the chat like as it happened during the live stream. So you can check that out if you want. But I don't want you all to think that I'm ignoring the chat, but just trying to skip over to make sure I get to all the questions. All right. I'm going to set this 25-minute timer for another session. I really don't expect this to go longer than 25 minutes, though, since everything's pretty much done. We just need um, to make it live. So here's a few things that we need to do. We do need to make, we need to build this so it goes into dist, and we need to double check that the logos go over. So I don't remember on this project if I have it set up to automatically push images into the dist folder. We'll see. But here's what we need to do. I'm going to get rid of, or I'm going to stop this server. We don't really need it right now. And I'm going to do a gulp dist. All right, so this is going to change our files. We'll see how long it takes. There we are. So it looks like nothing injected into HTML. Dist. Let's double check to make sure a change really did happen in dist. Yep, it changed. Let's see what files changed in particular. So our CSS did, which is expected, and our index did. All right, great. Now notice this side nav logo is still there. So evidently I don't have it set up to pull over images. So let's manually change this. You see, I didn't really have that many images, so I suppose I just figured, hey, why take the trouble to set that up if I'm not even going to use it? And let's try to copy this and see if it'll let me paste it. Yep. All right, cool. So now we have this logo here as well. And now let's do a git commit. So let's check our status for Git. If you're not familiar with using Git, it's a way to track all your changes and have lots of little tiny like save points for your code so that you can go back to previous points if you mess something up. And you can see the whole history of the project. You can see what, if there are multiple people working on it, you can see who did what, when. So there's a big advantage to using this. Git is one of the most popular version control systems. There are other systems, and if you use Git, you can store your code and all your Git commits on GitHub so that other people can view it and help out with your code. So that's what we're doing here. So what I want to do first is do git add, and I'm going to put a period, means add everything. So now if we do another git status, you can see we've changed, everything is now green. It means it's ready to be committed. It's staged now in the staging area. So before we had some stuff was red and modified, some stuff says deleted, and this stuff was totally new and wasn't being tracked at all. Now everything's here. So the next step is to do a git commit. And I'm going to use this M flag here, so -M, and that's going to allow me to do a commit message right there in line. So our commit message is going to be update, or it's going to be add new logo and text. All right, it's pretty general. I try to keep the commit messages really short. So we probably could say a bit more about exactly what we changed, but we'll be able to see on GitHub exactly what changed. So we don't really need to describe every detail. Right? That's not what the commit message is for. So that looks good. I'm going to hit enter here, and we'll see that's all committed. Now we can do a git push, and that's going to send all of that up to GitHub. So if any of you are checking out the GitHub repo now, if you refresh the page, you'll see all those changes are now there in the GitHub repo. Now, I have what's called a flight plan set up to push this stuff to the server. This doesn't always work. So let's see if it'll work. And if it does work, then I'll explain how it works. If it doesn't work, then I'll just update manually later. But let's try this. We'll go fly. The command is fly production. And what it should do is automatically log into our server and move all the files over. And we have to run our gulp dist and our git stuff before we do this, because it uses git to determine what files changed, and it only copies over the files that changed. So instead of copying over all your files all the time, it saves a lot of time by just copying what's changed. So it's pretty cool. 18 minutes. All right, cool. So it looks like that worked. Let's verify by going to the live site. And you all can do this too if you go to the live site. And let's refresh the page. Awesome. Really cool. Great. That works. Let's double check down here. Yep. Looks like everything's fine. Everything works. Let's do a check for the mobile size, just to be sure. All right, that looks good. Okay, looks okay. That does look a bit big to me now that I see it. It probably looks huge on mobile. It's acceptable for now. This is a very low traffic site, so it's not a great use of my time to nitpick the design here. I mean, I'd love to have all my sites be perfect, but realistically, I need to be aware of the value of my time and the value of each project. And this one is just not, it's not likely to bring in enough value to the university to justify putting that much more time into it at this point. If I get some of my other projects finished and have a little bit of time where I'm not really working on anything, that never happens. But if it happens, then it would be a good idea to come back to it. But right now, the main website is more important. But it looks like, yep, everything looks good. All right, cool. So we've successfully pulled down a repository from GitHub. We've cloned it. We've installed all the proper packages on our machine. We've changed out images. We've changed out text. We've updated the CSS to handle what we've done with the image. Okay, we've used an SVG image in place of a ping. And we've successfully used, is it transpiled SCSS or compiled? I don't know. We've converted SCSS into CSS. Right, behind the scenes, everything actually got minified as well when we did our gulp dist command. All right, and then we've pushed all those changes up to the server using flightplan.js and updated it on Git. So we did get a lot done. And now I'm going to go back. I'm going to stop this timer because we don't really need it anymore. And I'm going to go through all of the changes or I'm sorry, all of the rest of the questions and comments in the live chat, and then we'll finish up for today. I also want to let you all know I'm going to try to do a stream tomorrow, but I may not be able to because I'm going to be speaking at the Moms Can Code Virtual Summit at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So if anyone's interested, you can sign up. I don't think it's very expensive to sign up. It's been going on all week, so there's still talks today, tomorrow, and all day Friday. So if you're interested, check it out. Probably won't be available, that video, except on the Moms Can Code platform. But so if I can stream, it'll probably be earlier in the day. So I'll do what I can. I'll try to get a stream in, but I may not be able to. But I'll definitely try to stream on Friday and use my new webcam, which hopefully will be in by then. All right, Michael Creel asked, why use two separate divs and not media queries? Okay, so we actually are using media queries and divs. So behind the scenes, we have, let me scroll down to where those are. Franciscan. Okay. So behind the scenes, this class, hide on large only, is actually media queries. And hide on medium and down are media queries to say whether or not something is hidden or shown. So we want to display really entirely different things depending on the screen width. So we're using the media queries to just give something a display none or a display block. John Hansen says, are the name attributes on divs for hash scroll? In div, it should be data name instead of name for this attribute. Shows how well browsers are very forgiving to HTML. Yeah, so the name, yeah, the name is for, I have a, it is, so normally you can just use anchor tags to scroll down the page, but the scroll is very abrupt, so I don't like that. So I just made a little JavaScript function that slows down the rate of scroll, so it looks a little bit nicer. Yeah, and I guess you can use data name. Yeah, it really, I don't know if it will matter, but at this point at least, browsers are fine with this, with these custom properties. So it doesn't really matter if you use data name or not. I don't know. Is there some plan to make it so that you can't do these? And you have to use data name? If there is, it'd be good to know about. But yeah, as far as, it's been my experience that these custom attributes work without prefixing it with data hyphen. John Hansen said, "Yeah, Sass. Yeah, haven't used it in a while." Mark Paglia asks if anyone is using Notepad, Notepad QQ for Ubuntu. I don't use Ubuntu as a desktop operating system, so I definitely have not. There are a few people that do use it, I think, and that watch the stream sometimes, so they might be able to let you know. Let's see. Zach asked if I was laying in bed. No, I'm not. I'm laying in a recliner, But actually, that it's probably misleading because I like this literally is like a tablecloth that serves as like my wall for my office in the basement. So it probably does look like I'm laying in bed because it looks like a sheet or something. How cool would it be if you had a setup where your monitors were like on the ceiling and you could just lay in bed and code? It'd probably be hard to stay awake though, but it would be the most comfortable setup. Uh, Zach says cozy coder. Yeah, when I work from home, it definitely is very comfortable. Zach also says nice code editor. Thanks, and he says Annie uses yarn with the little heart symbol after. So yeah, definitely like yarn. Alex asked, "Did I just hear a lady in the background speaking Portuguese?" You may have heard someone in the background because my wife is just she's actually like right next to me on an exercise bike, doing some coding as well. I think she's actually trying to take an Instagram pic right now. So, uh, she doesn't speak Portuguese. She may have been listening to a talk on the Moms Can Code Virtual Summit. So I think I'm missing a talk right now, which I was hoping to be finished early enough to not miss one, but oh well. Uh, yeah, but I don't know about Portuguese. Okay, Harshit's saying enable editor.format on save on VS Code settings. Okay, cool. I'll have to do that. I'm not going to try to do it right now because everything's so slow on my machine. It's somewhat annoying. We'll see at what point I get so annoyed that I really try to like do something about it. There is a way that I can run OBS on a separate computer to so that my computer will run faster. I might try to set that up. Frankie said, I had to step away for a moment. Oh, yeah, no problem. Uh, Frankie says, we understand, Jesse, in regard to skipping over comments to get to the questions. Smiley face. All right, thanks. Thanks for understanding. Yeah, before I really liked to read all the comments so that people watching later, the recordings, would get to see them. But now that YouTube lets people see all the comments, even on the replay, I just don't think there's a need for me to do that. So I could keep the videos, a bit shorter if I don't read everything. So hopefully that's all right with you all. Uh, let's see. Harshit says JavaScript AF progress thoughts. So JavaScript AF is a side project that Harshit and I and Niki have been working on, and JavaScripter, who's I don't know if JavaScripter's here or not right now. So realistically, Harshit has been doing a ton of the work lately, and Niki, I haven't done much at all. But we're hoping to launch soon. It's basically just going to be like a web app where you can go to highlight some of your GitHub repositories and you can vote. And I'd like to highlight some of the JavaScript repositories that are not very well known. We all know what the top repositories are. Like React is huge, right? So people know about those, but I want to get to like that next level of repositories that they're doing really cool things, but maybe they're not getting noticed. So this would be kind of an easier way to just check out JavaScript repositories, search for them, and let people know what you think is really cool that's going on. So that should be launching. What was it? Sometime in May, I think. Uh, But anyway, Harshit, I think everything's going well so far. I haven't had a ton of time to check out all the details, but in terms of functionality, it's getting really close to being complete. All right, so Phoenix says the logo in the side menu looks huge. I checked it in my machine. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Uh, maybe I'll go back in and change it. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'll check it out on my cell phone and just to see if it's like extremely too big, then I'll go back in and change it. Let's see. Inna says, "Thanks for your stream." Oh, you're welcome. No problem. Thanks for watching. And Inna watches frequently, so and always has really good questions. Not always code related, but that's kind of cool. I get to talk about other stuff. So thanks for that, Inna. Dimitri says, Jesse, you're very good, man. I see your streams always. Oh, thanks. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Harry asked if FreeCodeCamp was down. I have no idea. I haven't tried to log into FreeCodeCamp today, so it's possible. Let's see. So I don't have anything to do with like the servers for the freeCodeCamp.org, so I can't do anything about that. Sorry if they are down, though. I'm sure they'll be working on them to get them up as soon as possible. Phoenix says it looks even bigger in mobile. Yeah, maybe I will have to change that then. Michael says, by the way, I got a scholarship for Google's Mobile Specialist Nano degree on Udacity. It's a 6-month program that costs $1,200, so I'm kind of stoked. Hopefully I'll find a remote job by the time it's finished. Wow, congratulations. Congratulations. That is awesome. I'm really, really happy for you. You'll definitely have to let me know how it's going, how the program's going, and what kind of cool stuff you're learning. That's really cool. No Life says, hi, I'm new to coding. Now I am learning HTML and CSS at W3 schools. When is a good time to start making something on my own? Is HTML and CSS good enough to make something for my portfolio, or should I learn JavaScript first? You can definitely do really cool stuff with CSS and HTML. Check out on CodePen a lot of the cool stuff that people do without JavaScript. So you can definitely make things with just CSS and HTML that are awesome to put on your portfolio. Sarah Drasner does so much really cool stuff with CSS. I'm trying to think who else. I'm drawing a blank.
Christina Gorton, Coffee Craft Code.
All right, my wife's name from the other room, Christina Gorton from Coffee Craft Code, does really cool stuff with CSS. Una Kravitz does really cool stuff. So check them out, find them on Twitter, and check out what they're doing. But yeah, obviously, if you want to do this as a career, you want to learn some JavaScript. But if you just really feel like making something cool, then HTML and CSS are definitely enough to get started with it. All right, Michael says, thanks. Went through the 3-month tryout and got the news about getting to the finals yesterday. That's really awesome. Actually, my wife went through the tryout as well, and she just found out she got into the front end nano degree. So I know what you were going through, Michael, with that. At least from watching my wife go through it. So. Yeah, really, really happy for you. Again, congratulations. Alex said it sounded like she was scolding a kid in Portuguese. She was probably scolding a kid, but not in Portuguese, though. That would sound cool. Okay, so it looks like FreeCodeCamp may actually be down right now. So Harshit asks if he can put the link in here for javascript.af. Yeah, for sure. Put the link in. If it blocks you, I'll allow it. I'll show it. I just lost my place. It scrolled me down automatically. Harsh says so that some of the people can give testing data. I need data. Yeah, for sure. That's a great idea. So let's put the link in here. You know what, Harshit? I can. Is it the same link you gave me earlier for testing? Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I closed it. I hope I didn't close it. Uh, I'm. Let's see. I think I may have closed it. I'll have to. It looks like Harshit's going to put the link in. So. Um, Oh, okay. So FreeCodeCamp is working for Harshit and it's working for Phoenix. So maybe it's back online. Rajesh says, "Are you using any CSS framework?" Yes. So for this particular project, I'm using Materialize CSS. It is a bit of an older version of Materialize, so it may look different than if you're used to using the updated version. Um, let's see. Michael says, tell the wife congratulations. Oh, well. Hey, Beck, Michael says congratulations.
Michael, thanks.
She says thanks. All right, Harshit. Yeah, make that clickable. Nothing came up in the live chat. I didn't know if you were trying to put the link in there or not. The beep sound. That was we have an exercise bike, and I guess something happened. Did you do? All right. So she's doing an hour on the exercise bike, and that was the timer.
Sorry.
Yeah. Ours just said it kind of triggered me. The beep noise triggered you. Oh, okay. So here, what it'll be. All right. So there's the link. It wasn't clickable. Let me do a clickable version. All right. So there's a link now. It's jsaf.now.sh. If you'd like to check out the project, the side project that I described a little bit earlier, go there, sign in with your GitHub account, and then click on the little edit icon in the bottom right-hand corner and add some of your repositories to JavaScript AF, and that'll give us some more data. Please give some feedback on what you think, and hopefully this will be a good thing for the whole community. That's the goal. So if you want to help out working on it or submit a pull request or anything, it's on GitHub. I believe you can find the repository for it on JavaScript AF. So when you get in there, you can see it, and you can check it out, contribute, whatever you want. Oh yeah, Harshit says feel free to make issues on GitHub. Yeah, if you see something that's messed up, go to the GitHub repo and make an issue. That'll be the best way, and put any details, screenshots, whatever you need to explain the issue. Rajesh says, do you have any JavaScript ES6 tutorials? I haven't done one personally, but on this channel, the freeCodeCamp YouTube channel, I believe we do have some tutorials. So just search for that among the videos. I think we have some. I may do some tutorials along those lines on my own YouTube channel. So if you're interested in my own videos, tutorial videos, check out the link in the description and subscribe to my channel. I've been a little behind on making videos, but now that I'm buying what I need to have a more proper setup for doing videos, hopefully I'll be able to get more done. One of the issues with making videos before was low quality, and then if I tried to use my camera on my phone, which is a good quality, I didn't have a tripod, so it was kind of always at an awkward angle. So anyway, I'm hoping to make some new videos soon. It's been a while since I've done that. And let's see. Phoenix asks, Jesse, what is Gitter? It's just like a chat thing, so you can go on there and we chat about the stream and help each other out with things. All right, so I'm at the bottom of the chat now, and this has been an hour and a half long stream. So definitely a nice length here. Thank you all so much for watching and for helping out. I think we had a lot of new viewers because at one point we had 103 viewers on at the same time, which is really really awesome. So if you're new and you liked it, come on back. We do a lot of things, all the way from basic HTML up to more advanced React things. We do some back end stuff occasionally, set up servers. Like we do a lot. Most of what you would need to be a front end developer or a little bit of like back end as well, we do here. Um, and let me know. I love feedback on the stream. So send me a message, somewhere. I'm on Twitter. I'm on all the social media stuff. So, send me a message. Let me know what I could improve about these streams. I want to make it better for you all. Let me know what you like about them. And I may be back tomorrow. Tomorrow I got a lot going on, so may not be able to stream tomorrow. But I think Friday, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do a stream. So I'll see y'all then. And until then, have a wonderful day.